Hello, welcome to Soulprint Intuitive Tarot. My name is Cindy, and this is for September 7th. I have some housekeeping stuff to take care of, so I'm going to take care of that right off the bat. First of all, my grateful and profound thank you to Ellie of Ellie Dreams Down Under, who gave me a really lovely shout out the other day. Very appreciative of it. And for those of you who have come over to the Soulprint community as a result of that, welcome, welcome, welcome. For my established viewers, I just continue to adore you. So thank you so much for your support, your thumbs up, your likes, your comments, the shares. It's all brilliant. I really do thank you. Okay, so a couple things. One, apparently those of you who get your notifications from YouTube by email, I have heard that they have stopped sending out those notifications. I don't know why. So for those of you who maybe need to be reminded, or for new viewers, this is kind of the Soulprint schedule. On Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, Soulprint Intuitive Tarot releases a video pretty much exclusively connected to politics, US politics, sometimes Canadian politics, but its focus is on what is going on in the United States right now. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, there is a second channel. The link is in the description box below if you're interested. I have a second channel named Soulprint Insights. Soulprint Insights sort of takes a look at all things metaphysical. We might do guided meditations. We might be talking about crystals or programming a pendulum. So if you're at all interested in sort of the metaphysical, spiritual side, please hop over there. I do direct channeling from a soul group that at one time I was physically a part of, but I'm now here carrying on a message named Masudius. So there's lots of direct channeling that goes on that channel, and I hope you take a moment, pop over, and see if you like it. On Sundays, Soulprint Positive Energy Circle is released. That is where we pick a topic for the session, for the video, and we come together as a group whenever it works for you. It's not a specific time or date. It's when you come across the video, that's when that's when you're supposed to, I guess I'll say it that way. So that gets released on Sundays, Soulprint Positive Energy Circle. That is not a separate channel. That video appears both on the Intuitive Tarot and the Insights channel. Okay, so I released a video on Friday on tarot, which is, I think a lot of some of my new viewers must have seen that. First off, I think that was what sent you over here, about vampires and vampire energy. And I don't mean, the kind that bite your neck and, you live forever. I'm talking about Trump and the fact that he is absolutely an energy vampire. If you haven't seen that, please, consider taking a look at it. On Tuesday on the Insights channel, I'm going to talk about how to protect ourselves from energy vampires, what they are, and what that vibrational or energy disparity looks like and how it works. So you're very welcome to scoot over there. And if for some reason you have not seen the Soulprint Positive Energy Circle that came out on Sunday, yesterday. That one is a guided meditation to reduce darker, heavier energy and amplify positive light energy. All right, that's enough of my chattering, but I just wanted to get all of those amazing things and information out there, especially, of course, my gratitude and appreciation to Ellie and to all of my new subscribers as a result of her shout out. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. So on Mondays, I've taken to doing kind of a Trump this week reading, because every week is a little bit more volatile and a little bit more crazy than the week before. And so for the time being, we're just going to sort of take a look at him week by week. So, here we go. Give it a couple more shuffles. Come on down. I have a question. What is this? I also, for those of you who are new, I read my cards are always in one direction, and I intuitively know whether I am reading that card in a positive light or a more challenging light. Here we go. Trump this week, Trump this week, Trump this week. Before I start, I have to share this with you. Lots and lots of you saw the message I sent out, I think it was on Saturday, gave it lots of thumbs up. But for those of you who didn't see my message, on Saturday, I had a super, super clear vision of Joe Biden bouncing down the stairs of Air Force One. I mean, he was energized and he was full of vitality. He was looking great. Bounced down the stairs of Air Force One, saluted the personnel on the ground. So that was another really lovely, lovely vision to get in, in terms of where Joe Biden's going and what that looks like for him. So take that as a really, really good sign. But secondly, around the same time I got that vision, I said, universe, well, how is Mitch McConnell doing in all of this? I promise you, I'm not making this up. I literally saw him pouring a good 3 fingers, and I'm thinking it was probably bourbon, Kentucky bourbon, into a glass and just literally shooting it back. Now, I don't know if Mitch drinks. I don't know how much he drinks and whether that was literal or just representative, but it seems to me that Mitch might be going through a bit of a stressful time right now. Okay, so as for Donald Trump, let's start here. He's becoming aware. He's not ever aware, but as more and more attention is paid literally around the world by some of the shenanigans that are going on, I mean, the ridiculousness of the whole suckers and losers comments to the vets and to the active service personnel is disgusting and appalling, and it sent a shiver, I think, of disgust globally, except of course for those dictators like Putin who, think that that's the way the world should run. But he is registering, he's starting to understand that a lot of what he's doing, a lot of what's going on is really not reflecting all that well with him. He is not going to stop with the whole vote twice nonsense, despite the fact that it's ridiculous and illegal. He is not going to shut up about this vaccine that is magically going to pass through what should be months and months and months of testing for November 1st so that he can claim victory over COVID. The pharmaceutical companies who would actually be manufacturing this apparently have made a pledge that they will not produce anything that has not met their rigorous testing standards. So you've just got kind of a lot going on. He is getting more agitated, more out of control. And I know it's almost impossible to understand how much more a human body could take of that kind of crazy going on. But there's going to be even more this week that sets him off. So there's going to be some more books released. There's this losers and suckers comment is not going to dissipate. This is going to carry through the week. You now have the Secretary of Veteran Affairs out there saying, oh, he never said it. I've never heard him say anything like that. Of course he doesn't mean it. Crap. Blank crap, okay? You are one of his flunkies. You have nothing to say that anybody is going to believe, but you're going to see more of that. These sort of sycophants going up to the front of a microphone and saying, "Oh no, he's an American treasure. He's not an American treasure. He is American disaster." So there's going to be more information coming out from people behind the scenes, people who have sort of an inside view or know what's going on. So look for a really action-packed week with that, because it's not going to be a good week for him. He is going to continue to get sort of battered. The poll numbers are all out now post the conventions, and Biden held steady. And I'm dying to see, I haven't not yet seen them yet this morning, but I expect sometimes today you're going to start getting poll results from exactly how people reacted to his comments about the military. So I think he's going to take a really big hit with that, because the reality is, I mean, I can't speak clearly to it, because in Canada we do have certainly armed forces, but they're not sort of as kind of integrated into Canadian psyche the way the forces are, into the American one. But I would think that by and large, most people in America are either veterans, no veterans, no people who are currently serving, or no, or have family members and friends who are currently serving. That was not a brilliant comment to make. And again, the thing is, he said this same kind of thing about John McCain. He said it before. And so these words ring absolutely true. I don't think anybody is actually questioning whether or not those words came out of his mouth, because anybody who pays the slightest bit of attention to Trump absolutely believes that they came out. And he's going to have a difficult time pushing back on this. They're going to try all kinds of crazy spin, but it's not going to move so well. And then you've got the whole situation. There's been protests and demonstrations going on in Kentucky all weekend. And for this card, sometimes refers to Mitch McConnell. Not all the time, but in this case, it does. And so it feels sort of like Mitch McConnell is going to be also having some troubles this week. And he's sort of too going to be coming under a firing squad. So it looks like the week is going to be quite volatile in terms of news and energy and information coming out, and people responding or reacting to that information, and frankly not doing a very good job of it. Are also going to recognize that Trump really is sort of doing the unhinged kind of behavior that we all recognize now as his own special brand of reality. For those of you who are new, or for those just who are curious, I don't have a rhyme or reason with the way I lay out my cards. I put out the first four and they give me the foundation, and then the rest just sort of come out in twos, threes, fours. It doesn't matter. This is my this is just the way I do it. There's no rhythm to it. And somebody asked me if I had a name for it, and I don't, but one of my viewers, rather brilliantly, I thought, has now taken to referring this spread as the Canadian maple leaf, and I love that. And so if you're wondering, aside from the first four, it's just all intuitive. Okay, so the Magician is here again, and this card at this point is literally representing the trickster, dirty tricks, things that went on behind the scenes, things that are going on behind the scenes. And it's going to be a week where, like I said, where more and more of this stuff is coming out, and it continues to contribute to that whole, death by 1,000 cuts. Okay. His presidency, this administration, is going to this week continue to show significant cracks in their foundations, because what politician on the planet can say, sure, voting twice, that's great, no problem. And did you catch that Bill Barr, who said, well, he wasn't going to make a statement about whether voting twice was illegal because, sometimes it depended on the state? Give me a break. You are the Attorney General of the United States, and you can't answer a no-brainer question like that. I am quite convinced that the American child in grade 1 would understand that you don't vote twice in the United States. But apparently, the Attorney General just seems to be a little bit fuzzy in the head on that one. So, as interesting as it seems, they talk about how most people are sort of dug into who they're voting for. But it looks as if energetically this week, you may see some more significant defections from Trumpland. So whether that is sponsors, whether that is just simply people who are going to vote for him who can't get past some of his comments and some of his really stupid comments, and some of them are just ignorant and rude and belittling comments. So there's going to be some people who really just sort of, even at this late date, are going, whoa, 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 that was like a bridge too far, never mind a step too far. But there's going to be secrets coming out this week, and he's not going to like them, let me just tell you. Okay, and so here we have it, right? The King of Pentacles very, very often represents my Donald Trump card. The other one that represents him is the Fool card, not surprisingly. And the King of Pentacles, just the King of Pentacles are money and possessions. So, yeah, so he's going to be hearing some news that he's not going to like. He's going to react like the child that he is. So there's going to be some upheaval. I suspect it's going to be as more and more of these secrets come out. There really could be some overreactions or childish reactions coming from him. And the load, not only is he now carrying every day that goes by, his ability to get reelected becomes a higher and higher lift. It becomes a heavier and heavier burden that he literally cannot continue to carry. It is weakening him. So, kind of like there's that going on. So again, this looks like it's going to be, kind of topsy-turvy. Oh, and isn't this interesting? Now, just lately, this Queen of Pentacles sometimes represents Melania, especially if they come out very close together. So there's that new book out called Melania and Me about her friend who was in charge of the inauguration. There's information in that book that is going to reflect badly on her, and it may even trigger, I don't believe there's going to be new investigations in terms of legal investigations or lawful investigations, but I would not be surprised if there were not a couple of deep dive stories, journalism stories, that kind of thing, leaks maybe, that come out in the next week or so that really reflect not so well on her either. Yeah, this is the thing, right? The more they try to spin this and make this positive, the more there are questions about his money, his finances, his priorities, his values. The more you're going to see people sort of losing faith with him and him reacting poorly to the fact that people are once again going to say, enough. Like, just enough. How many chances can we give this guy? And this is the thing, right? He keeps falling down. When that expression, like you don't think he can get any lower, and then wow, there he goes. This is the thing to remember about the lower and lower you sink, you have less and less light. And so the lower you go, the more intensity those emotions have, because there's virtually almost an inability for the light to get to you. So um, you're just going to see some volatility this week. I think it has to do with secrets. It has to do with partnerships. It has to do with information that they had thought was secret or hidden. There's going to continue to be backlashes against intelligence reports not being shared, about some of the really blatant stuff that's going on with them as they literally are working their way to cheat themselves through the election. And you're going to be seeing this kind of picking up, if you will, of the roosters coming home. Or is that the chickens that come home to roost? Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. So you're going to see, it looks like this is going to be kind of a week where it's going to be a little bit tough for him, because every time he turns around, there's going to be something else coming up that he's going to try to spin. And honestly, I just don't think it's going to work. And the more he talks about things that are illegal, and the more he says things that are just ridiculously stupid, um, the more and more you're going to see people going, oh, maybe not quite so much, or maybe I'm going to be a little bit less vocal about my support, or maybe I think I just am not going to send him that donation this week, or whatever it is. There is definitely going to be a pulling back. And of course, Biden, if I remember correctly, Biden and Harris raised something like $333 million in the month of August. Like, yay, team, go. But Trump isn't going to be able to do that. And I mean, now there's stories about him, using campaign funds for more than he should be, particularly when it comes to, paying his legal bills and stuff like that. It's outrageous. But like I said, more and more is going to be coming out this week. It's going to feel like almost like a roller coaster that never levels out this week. It's just going to be one thing after another after another. And day by day, it's going to be like, how could today's news be worse than yesterday's news? Well, it can. And rest assured, tomorrow's news is going to be worse than today's. And this is all centering around Trump, his mental stability, the way he processes things, the way he views things. At this point, he really, he doesn't care if he steals the election. He doesn't care what he has to do. He doesn't care if he has to, snuggle up to Putin or anyone else. I was going to say something that wasn't quite as polite as snuggle up. But, I'm cool. We're not going to do that. Karma, it's always around. You don't want to create any more karma for yourself, especially over Trump. But he just is spinning. He's getting less and less sleep. He's more and more agitated. I would not even be surprised if this coming week you saw sort of some physical frailties, whether that's a stumble or something like that. But I wouldn't be surprised, because of course, when you're this mentally and sort of emotionally stressed out, physically, it takes a toll on your body too. And he's not a young man, and he's not a young man in good health. So don't be surprised if something like that sort of bubbles up to the surface. So here we go. More information about money coming out, about his stuff coming out. He's going to try to redirect. He's going to be, this is what he does, right? When he doesn't like the news of today, he either reverts to the news of yesterday and starts tooting his own incredibly tarnished and rusty horn. But, he's going to do it. And apparently behind the scenes, it looks like there is some stuff going on where he is being offered stuff and he does not want it. So I'm thinking the stuff could very well be advice. Trump, stop saying people can vote twice. They can't. It's illegal. Trump, stop promising a vaccine that is really, really unlikely to hit the market for November 1st. Trump, stop denying that. Well, okay, nobody's going to get him to stop denying, but maybe Trump shut up about the military. Just be quiet. And he doesn't want to do any of that. He doesn't want to take any of that advice. He wants to do his own thing because he really does believe on some level that he's such an incredibly gifted and talented salesman, read in snake oil salesman, that he just thinks he can distract people. And unfortunately, for about 30% of the American population, it seems to work. So, but you can see he's just going to be throwing stuff in the air. He's going to be making some stupid statements. He's going to be glorying and going on and on about his glory days. He's also going to really start pushing for more campaign-like events because, of course, as we've talked about, he feeds off of people's energy, whether it's positive or negative. And so as he becomes depleted by the constant battering, you really are going to see him trying to revert to sort of a campaign style that he is more familiar with, because he's going to need to feed, literally, like a vampire, feed on other people's energy. All right, well, this is interesting. Oh, yes, indeed, it is. Okay. Very, very often, my Queen of Swords represents Kamala Harris, okay? So she is going to become a little bit more out there. She's working hard, but it's been sort of a little bit, Biden's been getting a lot of oxygen as well. He should. But Harris is now going to start taking up more oxygen. And she's not stealing the oxygen from Biden. Oh, no, no. She's stealing the oxygen from Trump and his crazy. And she is truly, truly someone who really knows how to deal with that kind of bully, stupid energy, the bars and the Trumps and all the rest of, those guys that hang around him and just think he's fabulous. So she's going to be taking him down a couple of pegs too, and that is going to create, again, some sort of a more significant crack in his foundation. Yeah. So fortunes continue to improve dramatically for the Biden-Harris team, and fortunes continue to diminish for the Trump team. This is going to be a week where it really, really doesn't feel like there's a lot of emotional balance almost, and that's just not with Trump. It kind of feels like sort of in terms of the country and in terms of people's reactions to it. Also feel like the COVID numbers might increase in a way that maybe no one's expecting. Of course, you've got all those universities and schools that have opened or reopening or about to open. That's not going to be a great situation. So things that, like I said, just more and more bad news is going to come out. And they're not going to be able to keep kind of spinning it. Now, the other thing I really want to mention here, yeah, good Lord. Okay. Lately, when I think of Trump, I see not only sort of Bannon pop into my head, he's a little bit more in the background, but that Stephen Miller. So one of the things that you can anticipate, this Yaku is literally yakking nonstop in Trump's ear, okay? Between him and Barr, the amount of misinformation, the amount of encouragement for incredibly bad behavior is really, really ramping up because there is sort of this feeling like unless they really get that sort of far, far right wing energy really, really building up and amplifying, Trump could stand to lose even more. of that rock solid base. And so they're going to continue firing that up and increasing. Look at all these communication signs, right? Increasing the messages about, oh my God, the destruction and the terror in the streets of America and people dying. And really the only way for that to not happen is to, make the country white. So expect more of that really distasteful, really ugly energy. It looks like that is also going to be upticking this week and going forward for a little bit. There's stuff going on behind the scenes that we don't know of yet, we don't know about, but we're going to know about it. And we're going to be able to see, interestingly, we always talk about the sun illuminating. Well, you know what? Those full moons can be pretty darn bright in and of their own right. And so while some stuff might be shrouded, it also looks as if the moon is actually going to illuminate some of the behind the scenes stuff that's going on and people's reactions to it. So that's interesting. And Trump just continues to hang on to what he can hang on to because, of course, he feels betrayed left, right, and center because people are really abandoning him. And there's going to be more of that crazy sort of, you owe me, I want your loyalty, give me money, give me more money, that going on. But make no mistake, there's also increased pressure coming down the pike from him, from Russia, because their disinformation campaigns are ramping up, and they need Trump and the Trump fools to parrot him, to parrot the disinformation. So there's going to be a lot of that going on. Okay, look, and here's my Joe Biden card. So again, Biden and Harris are going to be taking up a lot of the energy, and it's really going to be agitating the guy. Couldn't happen to a better person, eh? Okay, so that's what I know about this week. Now, I got a message just real quick before I say goodbye. I got a message in my comment section one day last week, and it was somebody talking about Vedic astrology. And they were saying that around September 20th, Trump's energy is going to get really dark. I don't know anything about Vedic astrology, so if there's somebody who wants to shoot me a couple of lines about what's going on there and why that could be happening, I'd be fascinated to know. All right. Thank you so much for your support. Welcome to all of my subscribers. I adore all of you. Those looking for private readings, there is the information in the box below. Okay, so thank you for being here, and until next time, take care. Be well. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.